Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rain do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh now they know us. See it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ay.
What's up, good Vipo? Happy Wednesday. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing hump day in the chat if you can hear me, because we are back. I had to take a day off, take care of some personal things, and they have been taken care of, and we are back and trying to get back in motion. What's up to everyone over there on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram? Thank you for joining me. Please remember to hit that like or that heart button, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you to the 90% of you who have voted this far here on YouTube and said that you have shared this video and hit that like and thumbs up buttons. Greatly appreciate it. And what's up to everybody who's telling me that you can hear me over here on the YouTube side? Trey Keisha, Aunt May, Sugar, Spice, Precious G, Onisha, Shonda, Andrea, Sugar Spice, Jerica, Gilda, Yolanda, and over here on Instagram, Prince. Well, I'm sorry, that was what I just read was actually Facebook and YouTube. And then over here on Instagram, we got Sanja Budden and Pure Luck Salon and Princess and Julie. And I know people on and William Yum Yum and everybody else. I know people on Instagram kind of hop out like, who this? Oh, I don't know them. And then they go about their business. So but over here on YouTube, y'all know, and Facebook, y'all know who y'all got over here. Okay, so today for our midday live, I'm sorry, about to choke. Today for our midday live, what we have on the agenda is, unfortunately, it's a lot heavier of a show. I don't really like the shows to be heavy like this, but it was just the stories I was coming up with, and I couldn't find too much lighthearted stuff. I try to balance it out, but today's just one of them days. It is what it is. It's life. It's life. Sometimes it's just heavier than other times. But we have a story of a New York landlord who ended up getting arrested for trying to get criminals out of her house. Then we have the unfortunate story of twin young ladies. Again, this is out of New York. 19-year-old twins who were stabbed by a guy because they weren't interested in him. It's craziness. Then story out of Chicago. A baby mama set up the daddy to be unalived by his enemies. Very interesting. And then Young Thug. I haven't been following the case, but every once in a while I'll see something that goes a little viral with it. So there's an interesting situation that went on with one of the witnesses on yesterday. So we'll talk about that. Then just a little headline news on what's happening with Dollar Tree. For those of you who love your Dollar Tree, my mama happened to be one of them people. So I thought it was an interesting story. But moving into our first story of the day, we have a New York. Oh, hold on. I'm going to put this poll question out here. Poll question that's going out here. This is on the YouTube and Facebook side. I'm sorry. YouTube side is the only side you can answer it on. But you can answer it in the chat if you're on the other platforms. Have you heard about the issue of squatters taking over people's houses across the U.S.? So landlords have houses. They end up vacant for whatever reason. They're getting ready to sell it, or it's between, getting new tenants, etc. And the next thing you know, somebody just walks in, or breaks in, and starts to live there. And then the landlords have to go through all of this hassle to get burglars out of their houses. So in Flushing, Queens, this woman inherited her family's home, and after her parents passed away, she was in the process of selling it when she noticed the problem. Someone had changed the entire front door and lock to her home. She was quoted as saying, "I'm really fearful that these people are going to get away with stealing my home," she said. She says the squatters moved into her home in February and refused to leave. Now, mind y'all, this is $1 million home. It's valued at $1 million. They said, she was quoted as saying, "By the time someone does their investigation, their work, and their job, it will be over 30 days, and this man will still be in my home." In New York, squatters actually have rights after 30 days. They have tenant rights after 30 days. She had recently went to her property, and the Eyewitness News was there when a woman walked up to the house and unlocked the door. When they approached her, she left. And so the landlord decided to enter the property with her daughter and the deed in hand. So she's showing that I am the legal rightful owner of this house. And as she walks in, she's just like, "Look, this is my stuff. This is my furniture. These are my curtains hanging up." And then a man, as she entered the main room of the house, she's describing that. And then she found two people in the house, and she told them to get out of her house. One guy was sleeping in one of the bedrooms. And then the police arrived shortly thereafter and started interviewing the man, the neighbors, and asking for documents. One officer asked the men, "Do you have something that shows you've been here for more than 30 days?" Which is just crazy. So if you happen to not notice, and I've been in this situation where I had my properties and I ain't check on them as often as I should when they were, between tenants and stuff. You get busy and you're just like, that's too far. I don't feel like driving 40 minutes. Just go look at it. I ain't got to do nothing over there. You do that for 30 days straight and somebody that snuck up in there on you, now they a tenant. You got to evict them. So when the man did not provide documentation, they escorted both of them off the property. And the landlord then had a locksmith change the locks, which she had the locksmith there as well. Before the police left, they, however, warned her about changing the locks. In New York, it is against the law to turn off utilities, change the locks, and remove the belongings of someone who claims to be a tenant. Just because they claim to be a tenant, you can't do it. Craziness. These laws literally have to be changed at a federal level. I'm seeing this too much. It's happening too much all over the country. Because I did a story from California a few months ago. It was a multi-million-dollar mansion in that case. This is a regular house, just happened to be an expensive as New York tri-state area. Says less than 10 minutes after the police left and the locks were changed, the man who claimed to be the one actually leasing the house showed up with another man police already had escorted off the property. So one of the guys that the police chased off the property went and got the guy who got the whole scheme going. He returns and they push through the door while the lady is trying to shut them out. Like she's now changed the lock. Now she's trying to lock them out while she's still inside. They pushing through the door. Police showed up the second time and told the landlord that he can't be kicked out. This guy who claims to be a tenant, and they have to go to court. Craziness. They considered it to be a landlord-tenant issue. Wouldn't you have to, in order to be a tenant, don't we have to have an agreement? Don't you have to pay me some money to get in my property? And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court and not with police. This is crazy. So because the landlord, let's get this, y'all, and I got a little clip for y'all, video for it. Because the landlord changed the locks, the police arrested her for unlawful eviction of burglars. No, I'm saying that part. of burglars. So when the Eyewitness News asked the guy who claimed to have a lease for the document, and documentation to prove that he's an actual tenant, he didn't provide any. Instead, he showed bills for the work he claimed he had done on the house. Who paying you to do work on the house that you broke into? He said that he moved in the home a few months ago and signed the documents with a realtor, but he would not say who that realtor was. Now, there is a scam also going around where people find vacant properties, houses for sale, etc. They remove the signs and they put out advertisements as if they're renting them. And then people are none the wiser. People get them security deposits and all that stuff, first month rent, all that. They move in and then they find out later that that person they rented from has no rights to that property whatsoever. They were just a random person who changed the locks. Maybe the owner lived out of town, ain't checked on the place in months or weeks or whatever. So that's a scam too that I've heard of. It's crazy out here. Okay, so we'll watch the video. The rest of it is basically a quote of what y'all about to watch. Craziness, y'all. Craziness.
Yeah, there's laws. You shouldn't be trying to steal my house. Yes, you are. You don't.
How about that? A squatter standoff. A property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into her $1 million home in Queens, and our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
Several people were taken away in handcuffs, and one of those arrested may surprise you.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth joins us now with more on what happened. Tell us, Dan.
Well, this is a very big growing problem. I received dozens of tips from viewers about this in just the past week. I went to do what I thought was going to be a routine interview. Instead, we capture what police and property owners are dealing with on a daily basis.
I have video of you.
Who are these people? Figure out the situation. Yeah, but they're in my house, man.
Relax.
No.
To understand how this day ended,
We need the police right away.
with multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning. Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name? We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he locked it.
But she's been locked out. She claims squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave. What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found two men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs
They got one out.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed,
That's not going on.
the man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door, broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
And so did you.
Ma'am.
You broke through the front door.
Officer.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own this.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules to the.
as you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Proof. Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it. He didn't show me a lease. This is a bill. A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested
For what?
for being in my own home.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed is current and legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there. So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
It's not that simple. It's a long process.
That is insane. It's like living in the Matrix. It's like, are you kidding me? Someone breaks in your house, and just because they say they live there with no proof, now you can't put them out, and you can't change your locks to protect. You can't secure your property. Otherwise, you get arrested because you now have to go to court for the court to see they ain't got no documentation. Well, really, and just take them through the eviction process. Crazy, absolutely insane that that is legal, and the owners are punished. And think about the property owners, which I've heard of these situations where they end up in this sort of situation and they have a mortgage and they were in between tenants and they need that rental income to pay the mortgage. And now you got somebody in your property, a thief, a burglar, living there rent-free and destroying the property, because by the time they do get out, after you go through all the legal stuff, months later, they've destroyed the property. So now they were squatting, so you got all that time ate up, and then by the time you get them out, now you got to do major renovations, like talking about full house remodels. They got holes in the wall, ripped out the fixtures, the bath fixtures, the kitchens, the gutted stuff, and craziness. And it's legal. I don't know I know it needs to be a federal law change. I don't know how. I guess I do know how, like, to get it going, but it's crazy. So as the newscaster was saying, it's not that simple. Going through the housing court process takes time. It takes an average of 20 months for an eviction case to have a resolution in New York City. 20 months is effing ridiculous. Who can survive 20 months with no income on their rental properties? And they're saying that's according to the Rent Stabilization Association in New York. The landlord, this woman we were just watching, she's saying she now has no choice but to start an eviction filing in landlord tenant court. And of course, that guy's going to ride it out for the whole 20 months. Ridiculous. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You work hard for stuff, or in her case, her parents work hard for it. It's her inheritance. And now she got to deal with this BS. It says this has been a problem for years. I will say, Tay, it's I've started hearing about it in the news I've been knowing about squatters, since I was a realtor back in the early 2000s. But on this level, where they like taking possession of your property in this sort of way, it seems like the past 3 years I've been hearing more and more of these cases. In the news. Jules is saying, like hell, I guess I'm going to jail. Then if I'm the landlord, I'm not paying for someone utility and my mortgage for someone to live in my house for free. They got to fix this crazy. Yeah. And this again is across the country. This is not just isolated to New York. Now here in Chicago, it's usually, I don't know now, but I know back in the day, it used to be about 90 days it would take to like go through the full eviction process. I'm not exactly sure now. But I would not be, Jules. I mean, you can go to jail if you want, friend, but that's kind of a waste, because now you got additional legal problems you got criminal legal problems in addition to the civil stuff you got to deal with the eviction, because you going to jail ain't gonna solve the problem. That's just gonna cause more issues for you. But have at it, friend. It does not solve the problem. That ain't gonna make them push them out. It ain't gonna skip over the eviction process. You're gonna go to jail, have to then go to court for all that stuff, and then you still gonna have to deal with the eviction stuff that you still would have had to deal with had you just said, I gotta walk away from my property and go straight to the courthouse and file these documents. But to each his own. Poll question we're closing out. Have you heard about the issue of squatters across the U.S.? 79% of you guys have. 21% of you have not. So yeah, it's become so big that the great majority of you actually have heard of it. It's insane. I'm hoping that we get some resolve as for those of us who are in those positions, potentially could be in those positions, I should say. Have you heard this story? Next story we're moving on to. Have you heard the story of the 19-year-old girl who was jabbed for not wanting to talk to a guy? We have twin 19-year-old sisters were both I should have changed as I wrote my notes, I should have changed the wording, but because if I read the actual word, YouTube, they're gonna get this video anyway. Make sure y'all hitting that like button and sharing this video, because these videos, though, I get demonetized on them. It's the whole thing. They don't like us talking about this stuff. Says twin 19-year-old sisters were both jabbed in Brooklyn, in a Brooklyn deli early Sunday, leaving one unalive and the other receiving treatment in hospital rather. Police witness said. So police said in a short statement that Samaya Spain was passed away from a stab wound to her chest. And I also heard in another news segment, they said chest and neck. I'm not 100% sure about that because I only heard that one place, but in her chest for sure. And her twin sister was wounded in the arm, but is in stable condition. So Sunday night, the pair were taking a break from family game night and went to get some snacks, and the attacker approached them. They said it took place around 2:20 a.m. inside of the Natural Plus Deli in the Park Slope neighborhood on the corner of St. Mark's Place and 4th Avenue, a short walk from Spain's home. They say upon arrival, officers observed a 19-year-old female with a jab wound to her chest and a second 19-year-old female with a jab wound to her arm. The emergency medical services took both women to the New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where one was pronounced deceased. There was no arrest, and the investigation remains ongoing at this time. So they did not catch the guy, unfortunately. They said that she became protective over her sister when she saw her talking to a man, and she refused to give out, the twin sister saw her sister Samaya talking to a man. Samaya refused to give out her phone number, instead offering an Instagram user. And Sonia said, but the man became annoyed when she refused to follow him back on Instagram. She said she wasn't going to follow him back, she said, and that was all that she said. So a witness who was asked not to be named said that the argument began after a man complimented the women and said he found them attractive, but was rejected. He then called them names, and the witness said that he left the deli. He walked down the block angry, and then 2 or 3 minutes later, he comes up and starts banging and kicking on the glass door, trying to get in. The witness said that the staff members had locked the door to prevent him from re-entering. And then the second they opened the door, he ran back into the door and started attacking them, witnesses said. A fight ensued involving a man and his friends and the sister's older brother. He had a knife in his hand and was saying, I'm going to jab y'all in the face, and told the New York Daily News, I'm telling everyone to back up. And he pushed little Samaya to the ground. She said, I'm about to faint. And as soon as she said that, the people, called the police. Her grandfather told the New York Post that he walked in and started hitting on her, and basically everything we just said. I'm gonna play this news clip, and then I might have to play a commercial break because I got interruptions happening.
A 19-year-old girl was stabbed to death after rejecting a man's advances. A witness who did not want to be identified described what happened.
One of them guys had complimented the two girls that had walked in with their friends, and they said no, they weren't attracted, so he called them names.
It was 2:20 early Sunday morning when police say Samaya Spain, with another 19-year-old neighbors identified as her twin sister, entered the bodega. A man opened the door for them and then hit on the teen girls. Witnesses say they rejected him and he started yelling.
He's banging on the door, they locked the door, then he walked away again, so they unlocked the door so everybody could leave. So the second they opened the door, he ran back into the door and started attacking them.
The man jumped at them and stabbed them both. Samaya was stabbed in the chest and killed. Her sister stabbed in the arm and survived.
Nice girls, yeah. You're very nice girls. So sad to see them gone, one of them gone,
The man with the knife ran off. State Assembly candidate Tony Herbert calling for tougher penalties for these kinds of crimes.
We also have to make sure that people understand if you pull a knife out on somebody, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, that's like horribly messed up situation. And the guy's talking about somebody pulls out a knife, they're going to go to jail. Duh, this is beyond just pulling out a knife. He actually was using it against people, but okay, whatever it takes for your press conference. Poll question I'm closing out is, have you heard this story of the 19-year-old stabbed for not wanting to talk to this guy? 60% of you had not heard it. 40% of you have. Sometimes I forget again, when I see stuff all over social media, I take for granted that, they seeing it too, because it's all over the place. But Tay Tay is saying now they can't holler at nobody else because they're gonna to the poke. Oh, okay. This is truly sad, but the young people leaving the house at 2 a.m. Okay, I don't do the victim blaming part though. In situations like this, I hear those thoughts, but I don't like to get into that in those moments. Because really, a person should be able to go out at 2:30 in the morning, especially if it was a group of them as well. Not that I would do that or can, send my children out saying, hey, go out any time of night. I hear you, but I prefer not to do that in this case, in this situation. Too soon. Let's just go with that. There we go. There we go, D baby. This is where I'm coming. You should be able to leave your house anytime you want and return safely. And the truth is, somebody that crazy, because this don't sound like it happened because it was at night. I mean, it happened to be, in 2:30 in the morning. This dude crazy enough that I'm sure he flirts with women day and night and would have probably tried to accost them had that been at 2:30 p.m. That's what this sounds like to me. They have to hurry up and find the person and get them off the street. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, though, they will find him because, again, it was an altercation. There was a crowd of people there. So I think it's just a matter of, they probably even know who it is. The police might have gotten enough, or somebody who was around, maybe even the store owner, or somebody knew, this guy, he comes in all the time. He lives over there, sort of thing. So I think he will get caught based on all of the confrontation that they had prior to. People can go wherever they want to go, whenever they want, and make it home. Yeah, that should definitely be the case. Yes, we don't victim blame or victim shame over here. And we're kind to each other. I'm seeing stuff in the chat that I'm going to have a conversation with. We got to be careful how we treat each other in our VPO community as well. And so I want to make sure that We are being kind to each other at all times. And if we have issues with what is being said in the chat, we got to ignore it. But be careful that we don't seem like we're picking on people in the chat. He sounds, like he could have done this at a time anywhere. I hope they have fingerprints. Yeah, they probably got straight up identity. I probably got people straight up identifying them. May makes a great point. Well, from what I'm scamming. Jesus, am I thinking about crooks already? I'm thinking about my afternoon show, scamming. I'm skimming the messages, but it looks like may be saying something I agree with. Says young people are out during these hours. It's a part of youth. Young people can't even enjoy themselves anymore. Yeah, I mean, when I was 19 years old, I was out at 2:30 in the morning. My senior year, well, after prom, the senior year of high school, after prom happened, I was out late. I was driving around and doing stuff. Oh, Talisa saying, no, I'm not, definitely not blaming the victim. Yes, definitely agree. People should be able to leave their home. I'm speaking more about the times we're living in. Yes, I agree with that. Right. You should have the right to turn someone down and be safe. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like I kind of, well, it's not that I haven't heard of these sort of situations. It's always some insecure, damaged man doing these. Well, it's been women too. But it's always some damaged, insecure person who goes that far because they get their feelings hurt because somebody rejects them, that they want to then harm them or unalive them. Paradox True is saying he was at the party that they had just come from. Now, if that's the case, then they definitely will be able to identify him. So when they said a family game night, it was them at a party. Oh, here we go. Jamise Blanks is saying his picture is all over NYC. He's known, just a matter of finding out where he's hiding. Yeah, that's what I was hoping and figuring. So good. I'm glad to hear that confirmation. In my day, we hung out all times with no worries. Yeah. And even, with me being, 90s teenager, it was, it was way safer than now, but we had to be cautious in some ways, but we weren't worried about like random people, driving by and pow-powing and all of that. It's just, thank God that wasn't my reality. I mean, it happened places, but for us, it was like, oh, that happens in Los Angeles and Compton. That was before Chicago started getting a reputation that I see everywhere, to be honest, with the way I'm in the researching social media and the news and stuff. All this stuff is happening everywhere. Oh, okay, I had a typo in here. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyway, the poll question. Moving on to the next story. Thoughts and prayers with that family, and hopefully we catch that monster ASAP. Y'all get on it in NYC or wherever he's running to. Y'all get on it, catch him. But the next story we're moving on to is: have you heard the story of a girl setting up her baby daddy to be unalived by his enemies? This happened to happen here in Chicagoland. This girl, they say on Sunday afternoon, which was March 17th, in the 4200 block of North Kimball Avenue, where two men approached 25-year-old Bernardo Romero, who was sitting on a front porch in the Irving Park neighborhood. At around 1:23 p.m., police said the two men confronted Romero on foot, and shortly after, they pulled out their weapons. Police said the young Chicago man was capped 5 times in the chest. Wow. The perps then fled from the scene on foot before driving away in a white SUV. Following the pow-powing, the Chicago man was rushed to Illinois Masonic Hospital, where he was later pronounced unalive. The Chicago man was later identified once a Cook County medical examiner by the Cook County medical examiner as of Monday, March 18th. They're saying no arrests had been made in the shooting, but the investigation has been launched. According to police, they are unclear as to what led to the pow-powings. However, social media detectives, they got social media detectives now? I love it. Have since alleged that the man's child's mother set him up. Says, according to a viral post on Facebook, the woman who goes by both Marley Janet and Romero, she says, my baby daddy got the weakest ops. He just keep coming home alive and untouched. He ain't he snitch on half of y'all? Ain't he rob half of y'all? Anyway, he's not located at 4250 North Kimball. I repeat, he is not. Craziness. So they said they're trying to piece things together on social media, and they began to allege that Marley doxed her child's father by sharing his location on Facebook, ultimately resulting in his unaliving. Further investigation shows that the woman, who also goes by Marley Janet online, was arrested on Sunday. On Sunday. Well, I'll just say previously. Look like this, a little confusing, and I'm chopped up my notes. But anyway, she had previously been arrested on August the 27th of 2023 for a domestic altercation, and they said that it was with him. Hold on. With him. So they've had a history, her and the baby daddy have had a history of domestic battery and bodily harm. And so people on social media have been saying that they had ongoing domestic violence and that she eventually shanked him, which led to her previous arrest that was in August of last year. She has since deactivated her Facebook page, but before this, the other users alleged that she first began deleting photos of her father's child. Since the fatal pow-pow of the Chicago man, his parents have both taken to their Facebooks to share messages informing the public of their son's death and asking for help with the funeral expenses. The message was translated from Spanish to English and reads, "We want to inform you of the passing of my son, Bernardo Romero. Any help you want to give us for the funeral expenses to me and my family in these difficult times we're going through, you can send them to Zelle, blah, blah, blah." And then the message continues to offer a phone number to send the money to, and then concludes by saying, "We want to thank you in advance for your consideration and support in such a difficult time for our family." It's crazy. And what's really crazy is that people don't think that at this point, like, okay, I can get them a couple years ago when they didn't realize that the police really does pay attention and utilize social media. People literally be telling on themselves in a case like this, like there's not going to be evidence out there. That is crazy. You set yourself up. Closing out this poll question, have you heard this story of this woman setting up her baby daddy? 9% of you had heard it. 91% of you had not heard this, heard of this situation. Yeah, tragic. See what y'all saying about it. Right, Carol is saying she should be arrested as well. She is just as guilty. Now, for me, watching all these crime shows and true crime stuff, the fact that she did that, it implicates her as well. She didn't have to actually. Now, she's probably not savvy enough to know that, but she doesn't actually have to be there pulling the, using the pow-pow. She orchestrated it by doing that, knowing that people were after him and taunting them on top of that and doxing his location, which means giving out his location. Right. Talk about a toxic relationship. Exactly. Then we're moving on to our next topic. I'm checking the time. See how we doing on time. Y'all know I like to keep these right about an hour, not too much over. We got Young Thug and the drama and chaos of his trial. I have not been able to keep up with it. How many of you are actually following the Young Thug trial? It seems interesting, like the little bits and pieces that I do catch, but it's at day what? I think they're at day 45, 46 or something. I don't have that kind of time in my life to sit daily and watch a trial with everything else we got going on over here on this channel. But they say recently, what went viral is a state witness in the Young Thug's YSL RICO trial interrupted the rapper's lawyer to ask for some water because in his quote, he was high and was going to fall asleep on their ass. A witness for Young Thug in the racketeering told them that he was going to fall asleep because he was so high. Adrian Bean was called by the prosecution on Tuesday in a long-running Young Slime Life racketeering trial against Jeffrey Williams, better known as Young Thug. Okay, I'm looking at my notes. The state was hoping that Bean would be able to establish Young Thug was at the scene of a drive-by shooting on September 11th of 2023, but he has not offered any helpful information in the case so far. And when he took to the stand on Tuesday, he had to ask for water and then said that he's so high that he's about to go to sleep on their ass. Throughout his testimony, he claimed that he cannot remember the pow-powing or subsequent car crash because he was frequently on drugs throughout 2013. Taking the stand on Tuesday, he leaned forward in his chair and got the attention of the court officers and then asked for some water. So I'm gonna play that clip for you. They're repeating it. Okay, clip. Come on now, clip.
I don't remember. And then I asked you, was Jeffrey Williams, performer known as Young Thug, involved in any way, directly or indirectly, with the events involving Mr. Dotson on September 11, 2013? And you said he was not involved in any way. Did you hear that?
I don't recall, sir.
And then you just heard that you explained that you qualified it as the detectives and police. And I asked you the authorities, the police, the prosecutors, I just made it broad, that they forced Jeffrey Williams into it. Did you hear you say that?
Man, can I get a water or something? I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all now. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
Yes, you may. We're gonna take a break soon. Hang in there. You need a moment?
Keep the ball rolling.
Okay. Mr. Cook.
He like keep the ball rolling. I ain't here no way. I'm like, his testimony is gonna be totally invalid. Like, I don't know. Again, I haven't been following the case close at all, so I don't know how this is affecting the case per se. I'm seeing some of y'all comments, so I'll just go based on that. Have you been following the Young Thug trial? 21% of you have, 79% of you have not. But I've never seen that before. I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never seen anybody get on the stand and say that they're like just straight up high and they're gonna fall asleep on their ass. I'm fall asleep on y'all ass. And you can see, because at one point, well, I already knew what to expect from reading the headlines, but I'm like, had I been there, I probably would have thought like, okay, is he overdosing? What's happening here? He looked like he's about to pass out. Paradox True is saying he said, and he dozed off several times. Craziness. Why they even keep him on the stand? I'm lost at that. Why wouldn't the judge say this ain't happening? I mean, I guess for concerns of a mistrial, either way, it looks like they're gonna use this for his appeal. This whole fiasco. He couldn't remember nothing from 2013 until now. Crazy. He was crazy as heck on the stand. Interesting. That trial is becoming a circus. That moment was so funny. Yeah, and a lot of that is by design as well. When people are trying to get off and like all the cards are stacked against them, they start going through. They just start throwing everything at the wall and doing crazy stuff so that they could say that he didn't get a fair trial because, you know, witnesses were high or this happened or the judge told this person they got to get off, like all kind of stuff. So this is all a part of the all a part of their tactic to get out of it with an appeal. So we're going to move on to the next story. We have Family Dollar that is in the news. Yeah, I closed that one out. How many of you actually shop at Dollar Tree? It's owned by Family Dollar. How many of you shop at the Dollar Tree still? Putting this poll question over here on the YouTube side. So last week, Dollar Tree announced it plans to close down more than 1,000 stores. And the Dollar Tree says that this decision was a result of high inflation and the end of the pandemic era government. I guess all the breaks they were getting, financial breaks. The company reportedly needed to fix stores and assume more products in order to remain open. Dollar Tree reveals that it has become a target for shoplifters as prices have increased for basic necessities. They said back in 2023, Dollar Tree made the move to raise their prices to $3 and $5 while still offering some items at $1.25, hoping that this would help with operating costs. This ultimately deterred shoplifters from visiting these stores. Interesting. And then, according to the Financial Times, the efforts to fix Dollar Tree will become extremely costly due to many stores being in poor shape, thieves, and stores being operated in risky locations. Most Dollar Tree stores are reportedly located in suburban areas and serve middle income households compared to its rival stores, Dollar General and Family Dollar, which cater to low-income urban areas. Dollar Tree, the parent company for Family Dollar, announced that it would close around 1,000 stores in the coming years due to poor market conditions and the store performance, which experts signal will have an impact on Americans who rely on budget prices in rural and inner city areas. Now, I've noticed when I travel to certain areas, like even when I was in the mountains of Tennessee and stuff, that I saw that. Even what was I? Oh, when I was in Texas, in a small town in Texas, like I was noticing that it was a lot of the Dollar Trees and stuff and Family Dollars. Says yeah, it's about to ring. In the first half of 2024, Dollar Tree plans on closing approximately 600 Family Dollar stores, while an additional 370 Family Dollar and 30 Dollar Tree stores will close over the next several years at the end of its current leases. So basically, as some of these stores leases end, they'll just start to close the stores. What I found interesting was I did not know how many stores that this company actually owns. They said between Dollar Tree and Family Dollar brands, the parent company currently oversees a total of 16,774 stores. 16,774 stores. I did not know that they were that big. So this is more of a phase out, but even them closing 1,000 stores out of 16,000 ain't a whole lot. It don't seem like they're going out of business anytime soon, I guess. Poll question I'm closing out is, do you shop at the Dollar Tree? 84% of you say yes. 16% of you say no. I used to years ago. I don't know why I've just kind of stopped. Really, I guess this goes to my other poll question. They were saying that's this poll question I just put out is, do you shop online more than in the physical stores now? And they were saying many people are starting to shift to online storefronts like Amazon and the Chinese-based company Temu, which has been growing its U.S. customer base. They say in December, it was announced that the Chinese e-commerce platform was successfully taking on U.S. dollar stores like Dollar Tree and Dollar General. So they're basically saying that Temu is taking the position of like a Dollar Tree and the Family Dollars. And I know for myself, I don't really go to the box stores anymore. Even I just got my groceries delivered like right before I went live. I haven't gone to the grocery store in months. Like every once in a while I would go to get those items that might be out of stock online, or I go to a particular store for it, but I ain't even done that in months. Like months. So yeah, and as far as anything that's on Amazon, I order almost anything. I just rarely go to big box stores ever now. Okay, read some of y'all questions, then we're gonna head on out of here, or comments, I should say. Ordering online is super slow. The pandemic gutted 2-day shipping, so you might as well go to the store. I can see that with certain things, but to be honest, everything, well, I don't know. My groceries I ordered this morning. They were here before I went live. Like I ordered them, I don't know. I did my grocery shopping at 11 and they were here by 2. Amazon, usually whatever I order, I have the patience to wait the 2 or 3 days or whatever. And sometimes it's next day, but most of the stuff I'm really interested in is a couple days, but I have the patience to wait. I'd just rather wait than even go out and be bothered with everything else. Temu got great prices, but I stopped using them because they are reading too much in our phones. I've never used Temu. I see people. I'm not the kind of person that just hops on stuff that when it's new and trendy, because I like to see what's happening and observe. And so I didn't really know what Temu was. I saw people advertising it. I saw social media influencers doing their little commercials on stuff they got from Temu and all of that. But I was like, I want to see what this is first. But yeah, yeah. I was also trying to see the quality of the product too. I prefer to go in because Instacart messes up my order all the time. Online takes too long sometimes. I can see that, Topaz Spivvy. Like even with the groceries, one of my biggest complaints is, fruits and vegetables, like them not picking out the best, just kind of throwing anything there. Also, is saying I ordered my groceries at night and they're delivered by 6 a.m. the next morning. Yeah. Yeah. Paradox is saying, I feel you, Val. I order everything online. You can get Miss Kia saying, I can get same day groceries and 1 day Amazon, depending on where you live. Right. And depending on the product. So sometimes I've gotten my stuff the next day with Amazon. I feel like I got something that was the same day. It was like later that day. I can't remember what it was now. Shinda is saying that I use Instacart and Walmart Plus for my groceries. I use Walmart Plus for my groceries too. Hey, Palma saying, I love Dollar Tree for DIY items. Temu has great cheap stuff. Have spent plenty of money there. Mrs. Key also says, stop using Temu. I mean, if it's like Dollar Tree kind of stuff, I probably would be interested. But I mean, the truth is, everybody is at this point in our data and looking at our phones and listening to our conversations. If you got a smartphone, you can give up privacy. You ain't got it. you might have the perception of having it, but you ain't really got privacy. Trust. So that's how I feel at this point. I ain't doing nothing that's illegal, so I don't really care. As long as ain't nothing, no scamming or nothing happening, I'm okay with it. Don't scam my stuff. I have not had a problem with Temu, Walmart, and Amazon. Read your phone just about every. Yeah, basically, Anetta is saying exactly what I just said. Yeah, every app you got is collecting data on some level, and has been. You're right. No privacy no more. If you have a smartphone, you give it up. Like if you want real privacy, you got to go off the grid. You got to go live off the land. Get rid of Wi-Fi. Get rid of all of it. Okay, and the last thing, I wanted to lighten this up a little bit because we had some heavy topics today. Closing out this poll: do you shop online more than in the physical stores now? 67% of you say yes. So it is the sign of the times. I also find that it seems like the stores on some level seem like on purpose they don't carry the inventory they used to carry. So sometimes when I have chosen like, oh, I'm gonna just go, I'm already out, let me go here and get this versus ordering it, I'm like, then they don't have what I need, or I know that I would have more options of a certain product online than I have in the physical store. So I'm like, that's why I don't come here. So that's been my experience, and so I just kind of stopped going to stores. So this last clip I'm gonna play, it's a little humorous, but there's truth in humor. As I play it, let me know if you've ever been in this kind of situation at work before, during a work meeting or in some group setting where your boss is trying to call you out in front of people.
So thank you so much for attending the meeting. I'll be sure to update you all on all the questions that you had. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, perfect. Also, Veronica, I actually had a question about the report you were supposed to send over. Can you give me some updates on that? I haven't received it. I actually turned that into Jamie last week. She hasn't gotten it over to you? Let's go ahead and take that offline. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Hold on. Why do we need to take it offline? I would just prefer to have this conversation offline if that's... But no, you were prepared to call me out right now in front of everyone. So are you not calling Jamie out just because she's your team lead and you don't want it to look bad? Or why aren't you willing to ask her on camera the same way you were asking me? I would just prefer to take it offline. I don't want to make a big deal out of this. I'm not making a big deal out of it. I want to know why you were fully ready to call me out in front of the other 5 people in this meeting, but Jamie gets an offline conversation. Can we please take this offline? Okay, let's go ahead and take it offline. For future references, if you ever want to ask me about something that you think I haven't done, either start with it offline or we're having the whole conversation online with everyone else that you decided to bring it up in front of. Yeah, let's go offline. I think that's the best thing too.
I love these clips, these Veronica clips too. I'm not sure how many of you see these online, but they're always like work related clips. I haven't. Well, I guess I have in a way, but not quite as bold in that way. But I just thought it was interesting. I felt like people could probably identify with it. Poll question we're closing out. Have you been in this kind of situation at work? 37% of you, yes. 64% of you, no. Who's this? This is Quarter Eyes saying, I love her professionalism. It's a very professional read of sorts. It's almost like she's cursing them out without not using that nan curse word, which is very interesting. Aneta is saying, Vel, I have to join your group so that I guess I can put this across the screen. Wise, I don't know how that's working. Oh, here we go. Vel, I have to join your group so I can ask you about some of this gossip going on. It's been too much. Yeah. So, oh, that was the wrong thing. But you can join. I guess you might mean maybe the VIP Facebook group or our VIP text community, which is scrolling across the screen. You can join that to join the community and communicate with everyone. 312-847-2346 is where you can get updates of when I upload new videos and also when I'm going live. And then major announcements I send over there. And then you can also send me messages one-on-one. And then the VIP Facebook group, you can actually interact with the other people in our community. The Facebook group is, that's what I thought I had going. Here's the link. Can I copy this link? I don't think I'm gonna be able to copy it. It's, yeah, ask me a question. It's been so long. I know if you do I am Vel B, I'm under every platform I am Vel B, but the name of the group is I am Vel B's VIP community. I am Vel B VIP community. And as far as just, I want to be transparent, just because this comment caught my eye in the sense that you said you have to join so you can ask me about some of the gossip that's going on. I get so many messages that I unfortunately don't have the bandwidth to have individual conversations. But if you have information, or if you want to get me to elaborate on something right here during the lives, this live during the middle of the day or in the evening, if we're on that topic, those are the times for me to elaborate. It's just gotten to a place where I can't have, I can't talk about all these random topics as individual messages to, a couple hundred people weekly and get content out. It's just impossible. But definitely join the group. And if to have those kind of discussions, you can have them with the VIP community over there on in our VIP Facebook group. So can I put this over here? I think I put the link. Hold on. That's what I was trying to do. Can I share it that way? Can I share it? Here we go. Share it. Copy link. Here we go. Look at God. Why don't you do it? So here's the link to the Facebook VIP group. And y'all can all have at it talking about those topics. And then when you want me to interject, hit me up when we're in these sort of settings. But anyway, with that, I thank all of you for viewing and being here with us this afternoon. I will be back this evening. I have no idea where we're going to go with the topic of exposing Darius Crooks on today, but I'll have something figured out by then. At 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. And with that, until next time, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.